Don't move. Turn your fantasy football into reality. Here's CeJaay.
Hello and welcome back. Thank you, Marty. What a great introduction, as always. Marty, the voice, I wish I had a voice like that. But I'm CeJaay. This is the Dirty Landry Experience. And today we're going to start off with, and I'm prepared for this one, viewer mail. And the reason I'm prepared is because this comes from an old friend, a guy I used to work with. I'll call him a friend, maybe not now. A two-part question from Mario down in Texas. Thanks, Mario. First question is, hey, you're as old as the hills. Ha ha. Tell us about your very first year of fantasy football. Okay, and part two of his question, the one I'm prepared for, cheap shot, he says, hey, CeJaay, by the way, did you ever have hair? Yeah, look at this. Look at this. See, you want to be jealous of something? Be jealous of that mop, eh? That's like 1978. Yeah, well, I wish I had hair like that. No, I wish I had hair like that. Okay, old school fantasy football. How does it differ from today? Well, first off, we didn't have the internet. We didn't have any access to player information other than the football news, the local TV station. There was no ESPN. So we're kind of on our own reading magazines and listening to the radio and so forth. And as a sportscaster, I guess I had a bit of an advantage, but then a lot of guys in the league were also involved as well. So there was really no advantage. And the NFL had more players than the CFL did, so we always used the NFL as our go-to league. But how we kept track of the points wasn't weekly. Well, it was weekly, but it wasn't, we didn't play anybody. We played against the entire league. So the most points you had, and everybody on your team counted, you didn't set rosters, the most points that you had, the better you're off in the standings. So the guy at the end of the year who had the most total points was the winner, and he didn't have to pay anybody any money. And that is what was important about our leagues, money. None of us had any, so we had to try to win. And the punishment for losing was 5 cents a point. Now, it doesn't sound like a lot of money, but if you beat me by 50 points over the course of the season, I owe you $2.50. Now, back in the 80s, that's, like $10 now, I guess. I don't know. But the guy above it was 100 points ahead of me. So now I got to pay him 5. So you get like 8 or 10 people in that succession, and all of a sudden you're paying out $100, $150, $200 of your hard-earned 1980s money. You didn't want to lose. So how we adjusted our rosters, we're all friends. We all worked in the same area. So every month we would get together at a local establishment, which is how we drafted as well. And you were allowed to drop 3 players and pick up 3 players based on reverse order. So it wasn't weekly. You didn't set lineups. Whoever was on your team, that's how many points you got. But the thing about those drafts was, if you dropped a guy who had been injured right away or didn't play and had 0 points, and you picked up a guy that had 50 points, you now were 50 points to the good, and you might be in a different spot in the standings. So there was always a little bit of gamesmanship and tanking a little bit at the start of the season, with the goal being to get up in that top half of the league. Because if you're in that bottom half of the league, none of us had any money, and we would have to come up with some dough. But the nice thing about the league too was we had the same guys every single year, and that's where the Dirty Landry group came from. We had the same guys every year because every year we had a nice prize. Being in the media, we had access to all kinds of team paraphernalia. We had access to tickets and all kinds of things like hotel rooms and such. And so the winner of the league might get a chance to go to a National Hockey League game, or an NFL football game, or even a Grey Cup game, or something like that was always a prize. So everybody wanted in the league, so nobody gave up. Everyone was always trying. And those leagues were super competitive. I mean, I think the second year or third year I was in that league, the commissioner I won the league, And the commissioner, I beat him by 2 points over the course of the entire season. And I remember him giving me the, 2 nickels as my winnings. Woohoo! From him anyway. But everybody down past that had to pay me the difference in points too. So it can be very rewarding to be in a league like that. But if you're having trouble with tanking in some of your leagues, some of the old school stuff isn't so bad. It works, But we did the same thing scoring wise. 6 points for a touchdown and such. We had some punt return yards sometimes and things like that. But whatever was in the football news was the gospel. There was no disputing it. There was no way to dispute it 100%. We could all be watching the game, see the touchdown, and they credit it to someone else. If the hockey news or the football news or whatever has it credited for that other guy, that's who gets it, and you're out of luck. It was simple. It was in black and white. So as time went by, we started using computers. We had a program called Lotus 123, which was a pain in the butt. It was easier just to write it out by hand, but in the end, it just looked better being on a typed piece of paper, and there was less disputes and arguments over, is that a 6 or a 9, kind of thing. But anyway, Mario, see, I was looking pretty good. Yeah, well, anyway, 1978 was a long time ago. I'm CeJaay, that was CeJaay, and this is the Dirty Landry Report. Enjoy your weekend.